So let's start by looking at build preparation. Here we are in Magics 25. Our platform parameters have already been defined. In this instance, we're using a Neo 800. So you can see our 800 by 800 by 600 build extent. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll load in a project that's already been started. Now these parts have already been orientated, and one of them has had manual supports applied. So let's add some additional STLs and finish packing out this build. Now all these parts are for prototyping purposes, so our key considerations are look and feel as well as fit and function. The key consideration is how our supports are going to interact with our parts. Will they leave witness marks or pips on any crucial cosmetic surfaces? And let's orientate to make sure that's not the case. Another key consideration with SLA is acknowledging the fact that we have a blade or recoater that travels along the y-axis. Now it's good practice not to place parts or geometry flat against this blade. So here's the final build layout. You will also notice that the parts have been placed in height order. This is to take advantage of our intelligent recoating on the Neo systems. As these smaller parts are completed, the blade will actually travel a shorter distance. This will reduce our layer time and help speed up our build. The build is now ready for export. We will be using the SLC module along with eStage to generate supports. All parameters have already been defined. We will be using a 100 micron layer. So here are our parts supported. As you can see, we've managed to make sure that there are no supports on the cosmetic faces of these parts. We will now take our SLC files that were generated by Magics and we will send them to a compressed zip file which can then be copied over to the Titanium software. Now we will be using Titanium Assistant, which is a desktop piece of software that allows you to manipulate some of the build parameters such as recoat speeds as well as Z weight and other key parameters when setting up a build. So this is Titanium Assistant. Here is our build that we've just been working on. We'll choose the target machine we wish to send this to. So in this instance, it will be a Neo 800 running Watershed. Titanium Assistant will now check the integrity of the SLCs we provided, making sure that supports are present and start at correct heights, as well as parts are at the correct height. You can see we can actually navigate through the slice files and actually check to see that our supports and parts are where they should be. This is also a good representation of how I've set the build up in its height order. So now we have a build time estimate. So you can see at the moment this is a 1 day 22-hour build. But here we could change maybe the recoat speed, so slowing the blade down. And we can see how this affects the build time. Now these parameters are preset with recommended numbers for each material, but you do have the freedom to change these. We will now send the job to our Neo. Here we are on the Neo 800. We will select the build that we've just transferred. You can see that all our settings have been copied over. And again, the Neo software will actually check the files again to make sure there's nothing that shouldn't be there, that supports are present, and there's no damaged files. Again, if you wanted to change any of your parameters, you still can. Once you are happy, you will simply click Start. We can see here from our live view that the platform is being taken to the start position, and we now will add resin to begin the build.